What's going on, everybody? My name's Violent, and I'm joined here with Greg FPS. What's going on, Greg?
What is going on, everyone? How are you doing?
This is the Power Up Podcast, episode number 7. Last week, I was slammed with work. There was no time to even record. So we're back again, and this time we got a bunch of topics that I think you're going to enjoy. So be sure to subscribe to both our channels so you don't miss our podcast happening every single Sunday. And we're going to be trying to make this happen every single Sunday, but work got in the way last week. So moving forward into that, Greg, how's everything going on your channel this week?
Everything's been going really well. Just making positive improvements day by day, pretty much. One major highlight was Infinity Ward sent me a Raven the Redwoods poster that was signed by the devs. So
Nice.
I might be getting invited to Infinity Ward for future DLCs, which I'm really stoked about.
Awesome.
Obviously. But I will be uploading that later on this upcoming week, the unboxing of that poster.
Man, I want to see that.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
gonna be pretty awesome.
So we got quite a few topics here. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter podcast, but we got some things that's going to really pack a punch in this. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a new DLC 2 guest character. We do have a little bit of a teaser, and we think that Pam Grier is going to be the lady. So, Greg, do you want to talk about Pam Grier for just a second?
Yeah, so Pam Grier is an actress. One of the major things that we drew from this, the thing that kind of gave it away, per se, would be that Lee Ross follows her on Twitter. He only follows like 105 people. Or something like that, so he doesn't follow a lot of people. And also, she took a picture with Jay Farrow, who plays
Ice Pick, I believe.
Ice Pick, yeah. So, I mean, that made perfect sense as well. And that tweet was actually deleted, like, pretty much right after. So you had to snag a quick shot of that the other day. So definitely there is some suspicion that it is her, and it would make the most sense just because she's played a lot of roles in the 70s. A lot of the really cool roles that she played was like a prison breaking out scenario. There's a few of those. There was another one that had like Dracula or something, some sort of thing in there, which was really interesting as well.
She's got like 15 movies here, dude.
Yeah,
in the 70s.
I know. There's so many. So I mean, she's definitely a seasoned veteran when it comes to being in movies. So I think that she'll add a cool twist to it if it is in fact her. But there is some suspicion that it could just be a troll as well. So what are your thoughts on that, Grizz?
Well, I'm not sure about a troll, but we know that Treyarch does things in a very cryptic way. They'll post something, maybe delete it, give us hints, and we always got to take things as a sign. So maybe in fact Pam Grier is our character, and I think a lot of people are leaning towards that because that tweet was deleted.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and from her movies that she was in, pretty much all of them, she had a huge afro. We know it's going to be taking place in a New York City like subway area, or a city subway.
And we know that Sally has an afro, but there's somebody else already voicing her character.
Exactly. So I don't think that it has much to do with that, but at the same time, there is definitely a lot of suspicion as to the time period as well, because Pam Grier has played other movies in different time periods where she still had the afro and all that stuff. So it could be like Infinity Ward saying, well, they're going to think it's the 70s, so let's make it the 80s instead.
Right.
You know, honestly, I don't think they would do that, but I like the fact that they went from 80s to 90s and then possibly back to 70s. I hope that's the way that they're doing it, but we still don't know at this time the exact time period. But we'll be sure to let you guys know once we figure that out.
I think it would set a good precedent because they're not going to be predictable.
Going into the future. Yeah, exactly.
And so we'll link Pam Grier's IMDb profile in the description box below. If you guys want to go check out her movie list and all the films she's done, you guys can kind of judge for yourself. But we think it's going to be Pam Grier. So the next topic we got is Ghost in Skulls 2 was solved. And we finally have that done. And a little ghost icon is kind of rewarded in the bottom above your credits. And that's kind of the question right now that's out in the community. But the hype for Ghosts and Skulls 2, it's here. It's going to be here for just a little bit longer, and then it's going to die off. And Ghosts and Skulls 2 is just going to be like Ghosts and Skulls 1. A little bit of a thing, and then it kind of dissipates. So what do you think about Ghosts and Skulls 2 as an Easter egg?
Okay, so overall, I think that it was a pretty good Easter egg. Surprisingly, it took a long time to find, so there are some people who believe that it wasn't even added in until it came out on Xbox still, which I kind of have to give a little bit of credit to, because it did get solved the day that Xbox got it, like literally a couple hours after that.
Do you think it wasn't activated until then?
I think it's definitely possible, because Ghosts and Skulls 1 is not on the base game of Infinite Warfare. It like, if you play offline and you just get the game and put it in with no updates, it's not on the actual disc. So that definitely shows us that they've been implementing that as a DLC thing.
Let me ask you another question. I got another question for you.
There was a patch like the day before it was solved as well.
That's true. There was. The other thing I got for you is that how many times do you activate a trap in a map anyway? Because the first step involved a certain amount of kills within those traps, and to get those odds anyways, for somebody to solve that just by an accident, is pretty remarkable, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. We knew that it had to do with traps, because Lee Ross did hint at that it was traps based. So when you look at the actual machine, 1992, it was the same exact thing with Ghosts and Skulls 1, only instead of using traps, you had to stand on a certain color of the dance floor within the arcade.
That's right.
So people thought that it was traps because there was nothing really like that. As far as the colors go, though, it didn't really make much sense. So that was definitely a little bit more difficult as far as that goes. So, I mean, Smart Guy was the first one to finish it. I was watching his stream, and he was, like, super hyped and everything. But another thing I want to talk about is, like, it was so hard co-op. Like, it is almost impossible co-op.
Really?
You have to do it solo, otherwise it's impossible.
That's what I was trying it on. I never got the third skull, but just doing it solo up until then, I was still wasting a ton of rounds just on that second skull, just to get that to activate. So I think a lot of people were kind of stuck.
A lot of people didn't really know the second step right away. Eventually, it was found out that you have to get the one on the actual machine to spawn, and then end that round, and then the next round you find it in the other 8 locations, I believe, or 7 locations. So, I mean, there was definitely a lot of confusion as to the second step, but honestly, I think the hype's pretty much died down for that. That's the thing with Infinite Warfare, man. Like, once the main Easter egg's solved, and I mean, it's pretty much the same with Treyarch maps too. Once the main Easter egg's found, then the hype for the map dies down. I give a lot of credit to the people who are still playing, trying to figure this out, but for me, it just wasn't something I was too interested in. And I'm also kind of disappointed that they didn't add in extra perks or a new perk. Lee Ross said there was going to be new perks, but I think he was just talking about the charms.
The weapon charms.
I would be more interested in a new perk coming into the map rather than charms. But the charms was definitely a cool idea. I wouldn't be opposed to it if they did it again, but I would like there to be like some sort of description of what it actually does, instead of having to like do mass amounts of testing in order to figure out what it actually does. So
we've kind of hit a point, at least I'd say, in the zombies community where Infinite Warfare it's flatlining until it gets the next DLC, you would say. And then but we have this event that's going on right now called March Remastered.
Yes.
Which is very interesting, and it's primarily towards Modern Warfare Remastered, the DLC, the variety pack that came in.
Yeah.
And so
go ahead.
We have a little bit of information to talk about, at least with this. There's the financial stats that I got pulled up from 2008. They did sell 1 million copies on the original COD 4 game, earning about $10 million, meaning that DLC 1 did cost $9 in 2008. $9.99 in 2008. And Modern Warfare Remastered, they're charging $14.99 for the variety pack on the new gen consoles, the next gen consoles in 2017. Do you feel that that's unrealistic to charge another $5? Because I don't see that this even should be a controversy.
Honestly, it includes 10 supply drops, and each supply drop costs $2, so there's another $20 right there worth of value. If you're someone that's buying supply drops already anyways, I think it's a good deal. But as far as the maps being sold, only 4 of them for the price of $15. Yes, it's a remastered game, but if you think of it the way that you bought the special edition of Infinite Warfare for $80 that included a copy of Modern Warfare Remastered, you could say that they were selling that for $20. And then if you charge the map pack $15, I mean, you're basically charging 75% of what the game cost for one map pack of 4 maps. Now, there is the whole controversy. Everyone's saying that the DLC was going to be free, but they were talking about the other maps that were being added into the game that weren't originally on the game, those other 6 maps.
Right.
Besides the other 10 that came with the game itself on launch. So there definitely is a little bit of stuff going on there. A lot of people are really upset about this. I've seen a lot of people make videos on other perspectives, but at the same time, I feel like when you look at like a Treyarch game, for example, you're paying $15 for a map pack, when alone I think the Zombies map is well worth $15 in itself. So I feel like Treyarch is kind of underselling for the DLC in a sense, and then they're just remaking 4 maps for the same price. And no one really cares about supply drops, at least I think, because they haven't really added in too many things worthwhile, I would say, in COD 4 Remastered. So I don't know, it's kind of like a 50-50 situation right now, as far as like if you think it's a good idea or they think it's a good idea. I kind of don't really care too much, because I'm not really playing COD 4 Remastered much anymore. But what are your thoughts on that, Grizz?
Well, I was thinking that March Remastered, it's a new event that we got, and it's suspicious because it's got remastered, and everyone is thinking DLC 5 with remastered maps. It's just what we have ingrained in our heads. And when I think about March Remastered, and I look at the statistics, financially, they sold 10 million copies because 1 million people showed up within the first 9 days and actually bought a copy of this DLC variety pack. So I'm not sure if what we're seeing is just all towards Modern Warfare Remastered because of the old statistics. They are proving that it would be worth the sell. So I'm not sure if that's what March Remastered's about, but we may get something in Infinite Warfare. We may get something in Black Ops 3, but I think it's more along the lines of something cosmetic or new weapons. We did just see that happen in Infinite Warfare. We got the RVN and the UDM incorporated, as well as the Axe Headsman. And these are things that were added in patches, and I'm not sure if that comes with it or not.
Can we just give some props to Infinite Warfare for that too? Like, they aren't you can only get the special variants from supply drops, but you can unlock the weapons, all the weapons besides the axe, from like doing challenges instead. And if you have the season pass, you get them automatically unlocked. And if you didn't have it, you have to get like 200 kills with a pistol to get the pistol, and I believe it's 200 kills with an energy weapon to get the actual weapon itself that splits up and kind of goes like brass knuckles, which is really cool. I saw some people using that, and that's already added into Zombies in Spaceland.
That one is fun.
And
I really enjoy that weapon.
The Redwoods, which is cool.
So
I think that was good.
The Survivalist collection is pretty much where we've seen the axe. I mean, you may be locked on your screen when you're looking at it, but if you do have it unlocked, if you're one of the guys, if you, like, with me, I got the triple play, and that's pretty much how I unlocked it. But I've tested this. I do patch notes on my channel, and I found out that you cannot actually play this in Raven the Redwoods. It's not in the mystery wheel. So it's subject to one map, Zombies in Spaceland. I mean, there's suspicion that it may come back at some point, but you play it in multiplayer, no problem. Apply camo, you can equip it. But I'm curious, what do you think of the survival collection? Is there a point to this?
I mean, some of the weapons are cool. I haven't really figured. I mean, I have a lot of them, to be honest, but I don't find them to be extremely useful. Whenever it comes to, actually like setting which gun variant I want to use, I'm always going to use the one that's the most beneficial as far as like fire rate or ammo, like stockpile and stuff like that. I haven't looked at all the stats because some of them got moved out of the special edition ones that you can get. So, but as far as like the Bosuko one, which is like the I don't remember which gun it's called, but as soon as you go into the mountain and it's like the first gun you see there, that one gives you headshot damage no matter where you shoot in the body, which is cool. So I mean, it all depends on what the actual gun is doing and if it's worth it.
It looks like it might be the
really
Evo.
Sure of. I feel like they're just kind of making this as a scheme to get more people to want to get those guns.
Right.
But at the same time, they're moving other ones out, so it doesn't really make sense in that aspect, I guess.
Right. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, too. I don't think it makes a lot of sense right now, at least for us, because when you think of we have a collection of items that's ours. This is something specific to our profile, and maybe we want to customize it, but there's not really options to do that, so I think
there's always stuff they can add in.
It's leaning in a good direction, but as with a lot of things, we got a lot of lost hope when it comes to new game modes and stuff too. So I just think there's things that were missed in our zombies mode again. At least on this angle, when I think of the Survivalist collection, it could be better. They just have to put a little more effort into it.
Yeah, and really flesh out what the purpose of it is as well.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys got any other comments on the Survivalist collection and what you guys think of it, be sure to comment below what you guys are thinking for that. So the last thing that I got is the Soul Key and how that relates to the Super Easter egg. A lot of people tend to be commenting about the Soul Key, not the Soul Key, the Ghosts and Skulls 2 being related to the Super Easter egg. Maybe, we don't really know what the icon is for in Ghosts and Skulls. That's still above our credits. A lot of people are saying that it might carry over to the next one, just kind of saying that you've completed it, but wouldn't you have 2 skulls if that was the case? Because this is the second time that we've beat Ghosts and Skulls. You would have a second skull. So I think that's a little disproven at this point.
And a lot of people are just saying that it's just the revive token.
Yeah.
So, to get all your perks back. So at this point, I don't think there's enough evidence to support that it does transfer over. I think just the key is the only thing that's going to transfer over. I like what they're doing with the key. I like that there definitely is going to be some sort of end game once we complete all the Easter eggs for the maps. So I'm definitely excited for that. But as for right now, we don't really know too much because we've only had the main map and DLC 1. So there's definitely a lot more potential for future maps. And honestly, I've been really enjoying Infinite Warfare Zombies. It's not lasting super long once stuff gets found out, but each new thing is just like me jumping into a candy store for the first time. Like so much stuff
I
to
get that vibe
explore
too.
And figure out. So definitely, like, I'm really happy when new stuff gets released because you always have new experiences waiting for you. And hopefully they can improve upon the methods that they were using for the Easter egg to make it longer and just add a little bit more stuff to that.
I remember a time when me and you were playing Zombies in Spaceland. We were just going around the Pack-a-Punch machine, the projection room area that's in the middle of the map, and you came to me with this idea that maybe the Super Easter egg will have the item in the projection room. And I thought about that for a long time, even up to this point. And what I think is going to happen is that whether it's a weapon, a piece of armor, an attachment, like we've seen in Zombies in Spaceland, we got the Exquisite, and that primarily dealt with the Pack-a-Punch. You had to go inside of the projection room to complete that. I think something will be in there that you can pick up and apply to your weapon, or it will be a weapon. inside the projection room, but only accessible if you've beaten all the Easter eggs.
I really hope there's something that's exclusive only to people who have completed the Easter egg. That's definitely something good that I would like to see, because we don't really see that too much in Treyarch, and the fact that they also gave the RK5 to everyone was kind of disappointing.
But it set a new like trend.
Yeah, definitely. It did. And that's, I mean, Infinity Ward knew straight away. I mean, as soon as we got the first key piece, I mean, that was a dead giveaway that they're definitely working for that, because they were definitely getting hints from the community like, hey, like, what's going on here? We wanted something that was across all maps, and I like that they're, hearing from the community, and they've definitely, received a lot of feedback and made a lot of changes, which is good. But at the same time, there's still a lot up in the air.
Well, this is Treyarch's third run now. I'd say Infinite Warfare, because they're introducing this new zombies mode for the first time, they're kind of Black Ops 2ing it, if you will, because the Easter egg items, they don't show on your maps yet, like when you're searching for a map. This is Treyarch's third time in. They realized we need super Easter egg icons on every map. It's because they've developed that far ahead already. And so they're leading the zombies for sure.
Game of having like a zombies team.
So we don't see an Easter egg icon on our new maps for Infinite Warfare zombies, but for a first run, I'd say they're nailing it on the head. Right now, at least, they have the super Easter egg already in the game, and it's working within the maps already as we're playing it. So that's something that is like, they're setting a standard if you're going to make a Call of Duty Zombies that has to have this material.
Yeah, so hopefully the next game by Sledgehammer will follow suit as well with that.
Oh, so true, so true. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring.
Yeah, dude, for real.
It's a big mystery, man. There's a lot of different paths they can take.
Yeah, and they honestly had really good Easter eggs, despite the fact that it was Exo Zombies.
They did.
And
Exo
you have the
Zombies
EMP zombies, which were so annoying. And that was the only reason
the
why
whole way
like
through,
playing.
too. They were in every map.
Yeah, no, and it was like so dumb because it slowed you down. You couldn't jump, so you're basically screwed of all the zombies that are running at you and exo boosting at you. But I think that the Easter eggs, as far as they were kind of. It felt like I was kind of playing like a Black Ops 1-esque Easter egg. They had a little bit of puzzle to it. They weren't too easy, but they weren't like really, really hard either. It was kind of just like common sense. So if they really hit the nail on the head and make some like cool Easter eggs that aren't too difficult, like say Revelations and shooting rocks, but they're still like a little bit better than the Infinite Warfare ones with the simplicity, I think that we're in for a good treat as far as Easter egg hunting goes. And all the Easter egg hunters, because I feel like that community has kind of emerged.
Yeah, definitely,
especially in Infinite Warfare. But at the same time, it kind of hasn't really progressed because the Easter eggs haven't been hard enough yet.
Right, but I'll tell you the best one in Advanced Warfare, and it was the platform jumping in Descent. They blew my mind with that step of the Easter egg, where you're platform jumping and they're changing. And you have to beat it, I think, 7 different sets of platforms that you have to do in Descent. And wow. So they can take it to a whole new level with Easter eggs, too. That was all outside of the entire map that we were still doing that, jumping on platforms. It's insane to think about.
There was so many cool things that they added. Like, remember on the boat, you have to, like, capture the shark and like take the thing out of its tooth.
Yep, that was nuts.
That was really awesome. And
I haven't seen anything like
even
that.
Going fishing, and then you like teleport to the island, and then you come back, and you have a shovel that you have to like dig and find an item. I mean, that was really cool, and like that whole map was my favorite one because like you had the drunk mode by giving like the guy something, and you got like a beer bottle, and you had to like go through like a maze drunk. I mean,
that was cool. Nuts. And so before that, I mean, we had Extinction, and look what Extinction turned into. We got Infinite Warfare Zombies, actually a decent product. So I don't know, Sledgehammer could knock it out of the park with this next one. They got their first round of zombies in. If they don't like it, they can change it. So I'm excited for 2017, 2018. It's going to be a good season.
Yeah, and another thing I want to touch on really quick about DLC 5, potentially. Imagine if Treyarch dropped a map each and every month leading up to Black Ops 3.
To Black Ops 3 or the new Call of Duty?
Or their new Call of Duty.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That
would be awesome.
I don't want a DLC where they release all the maps at once. I want it to be spread out.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I see exactly what you're saying.
And another thing people are overshadowing as well is in this remastered month, right? March remastered. There's no reason why Treyarch couldn't announce that they're doing it.
That's true.
I mean, it would make sense, you know. A lot of people are like, there's no way they're going to release it in March. No, I don't expect it either, but at the same time...
I don't think anyone does, but that's when they do it. That's when they always do it. They just shoot it out when you don't expect it.
Yeah, but the thing is, they would totally kill the hype for Infinite Warfare.
It would.
Because the DLC is going to probably be out... A lot of people are saying, April, the beginning of April, the 4th. But I think it's probably going to be the second or third week in April is when it's going to come out for DLC 2 at least. So I'm kind of excited to see when it's going to happen. But, man, we're in for a treat either way.
Well, I like how you put it, though. They do it every month or every other month. They're putting out a new map for what we would consider DLC 5. If we get it all at one time... Yeah, it will completely drain the hype from Infinite Warfare Zombies because we'll be solving these maps for the entire next 2 months.
Even one map that comes out, it would still drain it, honestly. If it's a good map, if it's Mob, Ascension, Moon, or even Origins, dude, straight up drain.
Damn, yeah.
Because those are, the best maps ever
Origins will be mic drop. For real.
Yeah.
On next-gen consoles.
How much I love Mob, too. I mean, there's so much stuff they could do there because we still have no answers to the freaking blood vials, man.
Breaking that cycle. I think that's what's coming next, man.
So excited. If it happens.
All right, you want to close us out here? I think we're coming to the end.
Yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Power Up Podcast. The weekly series that me and Grizz do every single week. We didn't have a guest this week, but it's okay. We had some scheduling issues that were going on. We were trying to get Kevin Sherwood, and it kind of didn't work out. We might get him in the future, but we'll have to wait and see. But at the same time, if you guys have any suggestions for this podcast or topics you'd like us to talk about or guests you'd like us to have, make sure to comment that down below, and we'll be sure to bring you guys another podcast episode next week, as long as the work schedules don't get in the way and
definitely.
our conflicting schedules, because we're literally fitting this in right now between stuff we have going on. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you guys in the next episode next Sunday. Peace out, guys.
Definitely. See you guys.